The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us tonight. Imagine being arrested, not realizing you did anything illegal since August. Several convicted felons, I think the count is now 20, in Florida have been arrested and charged with voting illegally in the 2020 election. They believe they were allowed to vote because of a 2018 state law. It allowed most former felons to vote after they completed their sentences, unless they were convicted of murder or felony state offenses, including child sex offenses.
I think the agents with FDLE talked to you last week about some voter fraud, voter stuff, when you weren't supposed to be voting, maybe.
What did I do wrong?
We don't know. We're always.
Now, the accused are now facing up to five years in prison. Let's get to our panelists who are here with us tonight. State Representative Ron Reynolds and, of course, Angela Box, our conservative here. So when you see those arrests, Angela, 20 so far, they started a huge task force around the state of Florida, and they got 20 people who misunderstood the law. Your thoughts about this?
I get the argument there, and I'm not in total disagreement. I think the law should be made clearer. I agree that we should not be having child molesters and murderers voting, but regardless, that needs to be clarified. But what Ron DeSantis is doing, and what is so brilliant that Ron DeSantis is doing, he's taking the lead on so many things, and election fraud is one of them. Because we know that historically, and certainly in the 2020 election, we had a massive anomalies, irregularities, ballot harvesting, the mules, the universal mail-in ballots, the drop boxes. So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. Certainly voter ID, things like that, things that Democrats do not want, frankly.
Did we have massive voter fraud in 2020? State Representative
Hell
Ron.
no, we did not. This is a travesty of justice. 15 of the 20 people that you're talking about were African American. But here's the worst part. These people innocently thought that they could vote. They sent out for their voter registration. They got a card back and they went and voted. The bedrock of our democracy. And now, because of a technicality, because this was an exemption, they didn't understand because of some vagueness in the law.
Well, you
that they
wouldn't
weren't
understand if the state sent you a voter.
They sent you the damn card, so you're going to vote. Right. This
Yeah.
happened in Texas with Hervis Rogers and Crystal Mason, a similar issue. So Ron DeSantis, shame on you. He's trying to score political points to booster his presidential credentials in a Republican primary to get ready for 2024. That is simply what this is. He's using them as political pawns.
Oh, that is the left's favorite thing, to call them political pawns. They say that about illegal aliens that Ron DeSantis sent to Martha's Vineyard.
They're not aliens.
Illegal aliens that are not supposed to be in this country, and these people should not be voting. Now, I agree with you. We can agree that there needs to be some clarity in the law. But the point is that Ron DeSantis, once again, is leading on things like election fraud, which at this point, at least in one poll recent, 56% of Americans believe there was some shenanigans in the 2020 election, and certainly
but every court rejected it. These are Trump-appointed judges.
No, that's not
true.
true.
There was no identifiable voter
Nope,
fraud.
that's not what happened. What happened was, in 70% of those cases that got rejected for standing, the ones that did get seen, 70% of them have had convictions, have had people prosecuted. We certainly have things going on in Harris County right now. We've got stuff going on around the country that is starting to come to light.
Less than 1%.
Okay, it's not less than 1%.
And really quick, Angela, let's go back to the 56%. That was 56% of Republicans.
Correct.
Not all Americans.
No, correct.
Okay, well then I misunderstood that poll. I thought it was of all Americans, but I do think that you're having more and more Democrats and independents also believing there were some problems in 2020.
No.
So
the only people who really believe that, Isaiah, are the unfortunate people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th.
Have you ever heard of Tammany Hall or Chicago?
Under false impressions that former President Trump gave them. That there was massive voter fraud. There was no identifiable voter fraud.
I will say
Our own Texas Secretary of State said that it was the most sound election that we've had. So why are we doing it? This is a solution in search of a problem.
No,
let's hear from Angela now.
It is not. There's massive widespread voter fraud, and the reason there is, and it continues to be a problem in election fraud, it's not just voter fraud. Again, you have to understand, we've got the mules, we've got the drop boxes, we've got the drive-through voting, we've got the mail-in ballots, universal, all these things that Democrats put into place in 2020 that they want to continue and pretend that do not work, that are massive fraudulent things, which every country in the world, except ours evidently, understands No, now they still want to continue those things, and everyone knows that that's massive, massive fraud. Now,
Is this about political theater?
No.
Absolutely.
And individuals trying to get publicity? Because the moment Governor DeSantis did this press conference, the people who were arrested, he did a press conference only hours later, basically congratulating himself on getting 20 people statewide.
So I think
do you know the population?
No, I
This is
understand.
the taxpayers' dollars.
No, listen. The whole point is that we've got to bring to light all of these election anomalies, irregularities, and look, the Democrats have zero to run on, literally zero. They've got, you know what they've got? They've got killing unborn babies. That's literally all they have to run on. And the Republicans are wiping the floor at them in generic ballot after generic ballot. They're trying to do suppression polls. It's not going to work. Even the media now is admitting this is looking like a bloodbath for Democrats. And they need to
the
cheat.
will of the people and running on the issues. They're running on fear. They're trying to make it believe that they're losing elections because of massive voter fraud when they're not appealing to the majority of Americans. Win elections by giving good ideas, not by trying to suppress people's vote. This is voter suppression.
It's not suppression.
This is a form of voter intimidation.
So you think
prosecuting people for making simple mistakes.
You think that sack of potatoes Brandon got 81 million votes? Is that what you're saying to me?
I believe he got those
80.
votes.
Okay. So
Yes.
I'm going to bet right here,
President
right now,
Joe
we are
Biden
going to find
won.
out that guy. No, he's no bueno. I will bet you right now that there will be election fraud uncovered, massive election fraud.
We're still waiting on it.
We'll see what happens. We have a very corrupt bureaucracy, a corrupt government right now.
Out of millions of people, Governor DeSantis found maybe 20 people that made a mistake.
So I agree that they made a mistake, but the highlighting of the election fraud is what's exciting to me. And, you know, again, Ron DeSantis is
what
leading.
about, for both of you, answer this question, what about the individuals caught in this net who have been publicly humiliated, arrested, paraded in front of cameras, with handcuffs on, because of a political message and political theater once again? What do you tell those people? Really quick, Angela, you got 30 seconds.
Look, I'm not in disagreement with that. It's a pickle for Ron DeSantis. It's not the best look. I'm going to agree with that. I don't think those people should have been paraded around, especially if it was an honest mistake, arrested.
We could agree on that.
Yeah.
Because it was unpatriotic, un-American, and it was a shame on him to use them as political pawns when he knew, in fact, that they said, hey, we didn't know. And yet and still he praised them out like we've uncovered massive voter fraud. Here it is.
All right. State Representative Ron Reynolds, Angela Box, our conservative here on The Factor. We want to thank you for joining us.